So today we're diving into a pretty fascinating topic, African smart cities. Not something we hear about every day, right?
Definitely not. When people think of smart cities, they usually picture Tokyo or Singapore, not Accra or Kigali.
Exactly. But African cities are jumping into this space in a big way. The question is, what makes a city smart in the African context?
That's the key. It's not just about high-tech sensors or driverless cars. For many African cities, it's about using technology to solve very specific local problems, like traffic congestion, energy access, or even waste management.
Right. I read that in Kigali, Rwanda, they're using drones to deliver medical supplies. That's smart and directly addresses infrastructure gaps.
That example is gold. It's practical innovation. And that's the theme I keep seeing. African smart cities are being built to solve urgent, real-life challenges, not just to show off tech.
Yeah. And another thing is how these cities are trying to leapfrog older infrastructure models. They're not trying to copy what Europe or the US did.
They can't afford to, really. Building from scratch means they can design systems for the future, not retrofit outdated ones.
That's actually a big advantage. But I wonder how much of this is government driven, and how much is coming from private companies or startups.
It's a mix. Governments often set the vision, like with Nigeria's Eco Atlantic project. But the tech and innovation, that's often coming from local startups, which is exciting.
Eco Atlantic is interesting. A planned smart city built on reclaimed land. But critics say it's too elite focused, not really solving problems for the average Lagos resident.
That's the dilemma. Are these smart cities inclusive or just playgrounds for the wealthy?
Exactly. I think cities like Nairobi are trying to strike that balance better, especially with their emphasis on digital inclusion.
Yeah, Kenya's Silicon Savannah vibe is real. And mobile payments like M-Pesa show how innovation can scale fast in Africa when it solves a need.
That's such a good point. It's not about flashy tech. It's about accessible tech, like using mobile apps to report potholes or access city services.
And the cost is a factor too. These cities need low-cost, high-impact solutions, like solar microgrids instead of massive power plants.
Or using satellite data to plan city expansion, so you don't end up with unmanageable sprawl.
Urban sprawl is a big issue, but data-driven planning can really help. Smart doesn't always mean shiny. It can mean efficient.
Totally. But let's not ignore the risks. Digital surveillance, for instance. Some smart city tools can easily be misused.
That's real. There's a fine line between smart governance and just plain spying.
And then there's the digital divide. If only the elite can access these services, we're just widening inequalities.
That's why digital literacy and affordable access are just as important as infrastructure.
So it's not just about building smart cities. It's about building smart citizens, too.
Well said. And training the local workforce to manage and evolve these systems. That's a long-term investment.
What do you think about the role of foreign investment in all this? Helpful or harmful?
Depends. When it comes with knowledge transfer and local partnerships, it's great. But when it's just about profit, it can leave communities behind.
Yeah, I've seen that with some Chinese-funded projects. Impressive on the surface, but are they sustainable?
Sustainability is crucial. Economic, social, environmental. Without that, it's just a short-term fix.
And cultural context matters too. A smart city in Africa shouldn't just be a Western import.
Right? It should reflect local customs, behaviors, and even informal economies.
Informality is huge. In many African cities, informal vendors are a lifeline. You can't just wipe that out in the name of modernization.
You have to design smart systems that integrate and empower informal sectors, not eliminate them.
It's about being smart with people, not just tech. That's what really stood out to me from reading up on this.
Same here. Smart cities shouldn't be about the future. They should be about the present, just done better.
So if you had to sum it up, what's the most exciting thing about African smart cities?
The opportunity to rethink everything, to build better systems from the ground up. It's not just a tech story, it's a human story.
Couldn't agree more. And maybe the real innovation lies not in gadgets, but in how people use them to shape better cities.
Absolutely. It's not about copying Silicon Valley. It's about creating Silicon Soweto, solutions rooted in African realities.
And with that, maybe Africa can lead the way in redefining what a smart city really means.
Now that would be smart.